So we were talking right before we started recording the podcast. Your ability to assess talent. So Jenna Marbles was a girl that you discovered her before she popped off as well, and then you just mentioned Alex Cooper. So like, what, you just are able to siphon through the internet and see what you think's gonna pop and get them on board?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a combo. I think I'm very good. If people ask me what my greatest talent is, I would say that it's like Big Cat too. I mean, Big Cat was not doing anything related to this. It's sensing what funny is, and it's not even necessarily my cup of tea. Like Big Cat, I thought was funny, and I got Jenna. So Jenna, the story on Jenna Marbles, who you could argue is the biggest celebrity we've ever had come through the doors. Still, like she has a
what's she worth now?
I think she stepped away, but
she had a wax statue in Madame Tussauds. Like,
I don't even know what that is.
What's that? Oh, at the place?
Yeah. That's so is
she worth like 50, 100 million?
She did step away. Who knows? She was like the original YouTube girl. Like,
yeah, she did the ugly to hot video.
Yeah, while she worked for us. She was working for us when she did that. And our logo wasn't on it. And I fucking went nuts. Jenna Marbles was a interesting example of me and Gaz used to fucking tell her the type of videos and stuff to do. They didn't hit. None of them. She went and did her own shit. Crazy. Like, you just have to find people.
So you knew she was good, but then you didn't know what she should do.
We couldn't utilize her. It's like everything we were like, do this, do that. Didn't work. She just did her own videos just to do them. It was like huge. And that's the same. It's like PMT. I was never a big podcast guy. Like, it's them. They came up with it. So it's finding people that are unique. Like when I saw the Alex Cooper, the demo reel for the first time, I just knew I hadn't seen anything like it. It wasn't my cup of tea, but I hadn't seen it on the internet. And I've told the story, but when I talked to her the first time, I was like, who made that sizzle reel for you? She's like, I did. It's like, what do you mean you did? She's like, I learned how to edit and cut it, and I made it myself. I'm like, okay.
Then you're like, we're saving money on that part of it.
Well, it just showed she was not, like, she there was something going more behind the scenes, and she's crafty. Like, people can say whatever the fuck they want about her. She's smart and crafty. You don't accidentally get to where she is unless you're like very on top of it. So, but we hired her and let her do whatever we want. Jenna Marbles, start doing whatever we want. Like, you guys, we never say like, hey, do this or do that. It's like, find creative people and let them do whatever the fuck they want. And some hit and some don't. And we also, things are changing. Like McAfee, take McAfee. Nobody would have hired him. Like, he's openly said that. It's like he wanted to go to ESPN right away. No, ESPN wasn't going to hire somebody with no experience, nothing. We did. We're like, oh, he's interesting. Like,
so do you have some sort of, not hatred, but like to him, are you kind of like whatever?
No. Well, I mean,
really?
No, but I mean, I guess you could ask it for all of them, because I feel like Jenna Marbles didn't really give you guys your flowers for
Marbles. I was mad at Marbles. That's just because I thought when she left, she skewed it and told a story that was totally not accurate. Like, she was getting forced out, and she was not getting forced out. And she also did something, like, she was down for anything. The second she exploded, she was impossible to work with. Like, and by the way, I read Marble's entertainment contract before she went to LA. I'm like, yeah, fix this, that. But I'm like, good luck. I knew we couldn't monetize her. So there was no hard. It was the next day she wrote this article like, I'm sorry, I'm leaving, guys, on all stool law. They're taking the website. It's like, that's just not how it happened. So that fucking pissed me off. McAfee.
Because he took your guy, or he took the
Lewis
software?
No, here's the thing about McAfee. He was always probably going to go on his own. He's super wildly talented. So there wasn't really, I wouldn't say there's any, I mean, I still talk to him. Like, we text back and forth.
So no hatred there.
Yeah, and I'll congratulate. People think there is, because we get, oh, you guys are idiots. You let McAfee go. McAfee was not going to be long. Like, it's anything. It's hard once talent gets to a certain point, wants to do their own thing. The only thing I learned from McAfee was we definitely kickstarted, like, everybody he has was Barstool. Like, he had Barstool employees, like, AJ Hawk, like that introduced all through Barstool. But McAfee's supremely talented, and he always wanted to do the wrestling. He was going to be a huge star with or without us.
So yeah, so it was almost like, we'll get what we can out of him, but I don't think in 10 years he'll be here.
Did you expect them at a certain point to end up leaving? Like, did you see that coming? And with having experienced it a couple times before, I'm not sure if Cooper ended up leaving before him or after him. But
Cooper, I think, was after.
Okay. But you'd already been through it with
McAfee
Jenna.
was not on like, we're super loosey-goosey. So McAfee was really early. I don't even know McAfee was on, like, I think McAfee could have left anytime McAfee
okay.
wanted
So that's
to
the way
leave.
it was constructed.
There wasn't like McAfee broke a contract.
Okay.
And we had a really fucked up, like, situation where it was easy for him to think we weren't selling ads. Like, for example, I know there was something with, and you guys could, I don't know how you're set up exactly, but let's say you go to a major, I'm just going to pick one out of the blue. Pink Whitney, obviously.
Nice
Pink
little
Whitney.
shout out. Thank you.
So they have a budget of $100,000, and McAfee's only getting paid if he gets those ads, Pink Whitney dollars. Well, Pink Whitney say you can advertise anywhere across Barstool. So Pink Whitney ends up going to PMT, not McAfee. McAfee's like, that's fucked. You guys would obviously push it to PMT because you keep 100.
Right.
So there was that inherent. But no, I think Pat's like one of the more, for me, unique people I've met because he's not motivated by money. He really isn't.
No shit.
He isn't. He's more motivated, I would say, by like respect. So I think he did think that Barstool fucked him over. Not me, but some of the things like the business side he thought, and we weren't, by the way. It was like McAfee didn't, I think even him running a business, be like, maybe looking back, like the check was late. Well, the advertiser paid late or something like that. It did piss me off a little bit, the Lewis shit. Like I wouldn't have done that. He was our guy. He went over there. A lot of it came with that rosé shit, which I won't go into, but that was a big problem or fracture. But again, Pat McAfee was going, not everyone can say this. Like Biz was going to be a star regardless if he came to us or not. That's not the case. Alex Cooper, I would argue, probably not. Like, yes, she's super talented, but we fucking jammed her down people's throat. So, like, PMT, Dan, maybe. Like, PFT was around, but wasn't a huge star before he came to us. You came to us 1 million followers on social media. McAfee came to us 1 million followers, and so he was going to be a star no matter what. We accelerated it. He went to the school of Barstool Sports on how to run a business, and we fast forward him for Barstool people, but there's no hard feelings with him. I say shit, and people think there are, but there isn't. Like, I taught him how to gamble.
There's a couple funny stories that
He cost me like $100,000.
Who did?
McAfee.
Okay.
Literally. So
Wow.
people think that's me being mean, but it's not. McAfee had never placed a bet in his life. And we're on the college football tour together. And the first time he can gamble, he's like, just double up what you're betting. I'm like, are you sure? He's like, yeah, just double it. Call my,
You thought you were betting Rico units.
yeah, call my bookie. I'm like, I'm going to need this doubled. You know, he's like, all right. So I tell him, I was like, all right, you're in for like 20 grand a game. He's like, what are you fucking talking about? So I had to eat all the bets myself. I got fucking killed.